You're watching Mountain Computers.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Mountain Computers. Quick note before we start, to anyone who said in the last video perhaps that everything was a little bit dark, I hear you. I hope that I'm going to be having that fixed sooner rather than later with some studio lights, but today I'm just filming at a little bit different angle and in more of like the daytime, so there's a little bit more natural light, and hopefully that is going to help us not have such terrible quality video today. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Today I'm going to be working on my server. I'm running a couple different applications on the server as services for some friends. One is a Plex Media server, and the other is a Minecraft server where we can, get on and play some Minecraft. So the last time that you guys will have seen this on video, barring the My Setup video, which was 2 videos ago now, was when I built it into a cardboard box. Now at that time I was using a Dell Precision T1500 motherboard and an i3-530, and those are going to be going into my media production PC. So as you would guess, there's something else in the server. That's true. Right now there is an AMD Ryzen 2400G. So that has integrated graphics on it, which means there's no graphics card in this currently, which is, one less thing I'm going to have to work on today. And today I've decided that I would be putting the music production PC, which I'll be building in the next video, into this case. So I went ahead and ordered this, the Thermaltake Versa H17. It's a case that I'm not incredibly familiar with, but that should in the future allow me to put in a few more drives if I want to. That was one thing I ran into with this when I was upgrading some of the drives in it, is that it can only hold 2 drives, 2.5 inch or 3 inch regardless. It can only hold 2 drives. So this should give me a little bit more flexibility in that regard. If I wanted to, say, have a RAID array for my mass storage, I could do that with this machine. It would be awful tough to do it in here. So that's one thing I'm going to be doing, and then I'm also going to be taking this EVGA 500B power supply and putting it into this case as well instead of the power supply that's currently in here. The reason for that being that I wanted to have a little bit more reliable power supply in my server system than what's in here. I'm not saying that this is necessarily bad, but it's a little bit old now. It's a Bestech 230 or 250 watt maybe power supply that came with the Dell Precision T1500. So it definitely doesn't look nice. None of the cables are sleeved in any way whatsoever. Not that that will matter in this case, there's no window, but regardless of that. And the power supply that's in here currently is not painted at all, it's just bare metal, so kind of an aesthetic choice, I guess, but it's going to be something that I want to do, so yeah. Let's get right into the build then. So the first thing I think I'm going to do is go ahead and unbox this Versa H17, and then we will work on getting some of the parts moved over. As everyone will point out, I'm standing on carpet, and normally you wouldn't want to work on a PC on carpet because of static, and this is another one of those things where it's do as I say and not as I do. You probably should have a static wristband or leg strap on and be using that so that you don't damage any of your parts, but I am unfortunately a little bit too lazy to be doing that, so here we go. So I can see already that this is pretty standard packaging. I wouldn't guess that Thermaltake would be doing anything different than regular case packaging, where they have two styrofoam blocks on either side of the case, and it just pulls out like this. Okay, nothing else in the bottom of the box, which means the accessories must be somehow inside the case. That's pretty typical. So that styrofoam is really staticky, man. Let's go ahead and toss these in the box, and then we'll get this plastic off of here. Here is a manual and warranty guide. And there we go. So, first thing I'm noticing here is that there is an air filter on the top here that is magnetic. Sits right there. There are two front panel USB 2.0 ports and one USB 3.0, a reset button and a power button. You know, typical stuff that you would find on a reasonably nice case. There is another air filter on the bottom, and that one is a slide-out style one, it looks like to me. Although which way it slides I can't necessarily tell. There is that. That doesn't seem like it's particularly well done. They could have maybe added a little bit more rigidity to the piece of mesh that they're using as a filter by having some plastic edges on it, the same way that Fractal Design does. But, you know, maybe that's asking a little bit too much for this slightly lower end case. I don't know. It's a micro ATX case, so there are 4 slots on the back, as you would find standard on any micro ATX system, or micro ATX case, really. So let's go ahead and open it up here, and we will try and see what is inside. Aha! So this case has a basement for the power supply, something that I have never had the pleasure of having in any of the cases which I've owned so far. Unfortunately, in this case, I'm not going to be able to see that basement and the extra aesthetic opportunities that it provides on account of the fact that there's no window on the side panel. So it's going to look nice inside for no reason whatsoever, but yeah, whatever. I guess it's nice to look nice even if you don't have to. We'll put it that way. And the accessories must be on the other side, I would guess. So let's have a look over there. There's a piece of styrofoam on the floor here I'm going to pick up. Aha. Here you can see all the cables which are running to the front panel I/O, as well as a bag which contains all of the accessories. That's not nearly as nice as I have seen some other cases work on that problem, but I guess we'll give them a pass since it's, you know, at least contained in something. Okay, so in here there's a few zip ties, a piezo speaker that you could use as a PC speaker if you for some reason wanted to do that. I don't know of anybody who does that anymore, unless you're building a retro style system maybe. There are some rubber mounts for 3.5-inch hard drives so that you can reduce the vibration those drives would cause if they start spinning. And then yeah, there's a bunch of screws. So I'm going to start working on getting a motherboard into here and out of there, and I will talk to you guys again in a little bit after I have that done. Alright, so with that motherboard into this new case, and with the cables just a little bit managed here in the back, I think I'm going to move on to installing the drives. And based on the places where you can mount drives in here, I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is mount my hard drive down here on the bottom, underneath the basement, and then mount one of the SSDs in either the top or the bottom one of these. Alright, I'm going to get on to putting those drives in, and I will get back with you again in a little bit. Alright, drives are put in, so I think, yeah, also now that they're hooked up, it's time to go ahead and put in the power supply, and that should wrap up the build. So I'm going to go ahead and get this guy installed in here, and then I will get back with you when I go to turn on the system. See you in a bit. Alright guys, here we are back down in my, apologies, very dark basement studio, and I've got this machine hooked up to my main monitor, and I got the power supply switched on, so let's go ahead and check out and see if it works. That's a pretty good sign. And then here comes some stuff on screen. Yep, there we are, booting into Windows, which is what my server runs. Sorry guys, I'm not a Linux server guy, but alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider hitting that like button, and if you want to catch my next video, then please consider subscribing. But yeah, thanks for watching guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.